Beloved chosen ones, have you ever felt that subtle tension when someone's gaze lingers a little too long, or their footsteps seem to echo just a bit too close to home? Perhaps it's your neighbor, a familiar face across the fence, always polite, yet something feels off. Their watchful eyes seem to carry a silent question. What makes you so blessed? Could their friendly smile be masking an envy that's quietly growing? If this resonates, take a moment to comment. 999 below, a symbol of spiritual vigilance and divine protection. I am deeply grateful for those who have supported this channel through super thanks. Your kindness fuels the mission of sharing these insights. Thank you for walking this journey of light and truth with me. Just as Cain envied Abel in Genesis 4:3-8, envy often cloaks itself in the guise of friendliness, but its roots run deep. Could the small signs you've noticed, a lingering car, probing questions or curious glances, be more than mere coincidence? Trust your spirit, for it whispers truths that your eyes may not see. Stay with me, chosen one. Together, we'll uncover what your neighbor truly seeks, why they are drawn to your light, and how to safeguard your blessings from the energy of those who wish to take what they cannot replicate. What lies behind their intentions? The answers are waiting, and as we delve into this mystery, remember, your light is powerful, but it must be protected. Let's move forward, united in strength and faith. God's chosen ones, your neighbor, next door is plotting against you. They only want what you have. Do you sense it? That unspoken tension every time you step outside your home? The way the air feels heavier when you catch a glimpse of them. Your neighbor, seemingly idle, lingering near your house. It might seem like a coincidence, but is it really? No, my friend. They're not just sitting there for no reason. There's a purpose to their presence, and it's far from innocent. Their eyes are fixed on something precious, something you may not even realize you possess. Isn't that the way it often is for God's chosen ones? When your light shines brightly, it doesn't just attract goodness, it stirs the shadows, drawing them closer. And now, those shadows seem to be inching toward you. Are you ready to face what's unfolding? Think carefully. Patterns don't lie. A neighbor who once seemed distant and indifferent now lingers far too often. Maybe their car is parked just a little too close, sitting idle for hours, as if waiting for the perfect moment. Or perhaps it's the way they've started walking the same route repeatedly, always stopping near your side fence, back alley, or driveway. It's not about paranoia, it's about awareness. Shadows, when cast long enough, always reveal their source. But do you see it yet? The Bible warns us about such moments. In Proverbs 4:16, it says, "For they cannot rest until they do evil. They are robbed of sleep till they make someone stumble." This speaks of those who are driven not by purpose, but by envy, bitterness, or some darker intent. Could it be that your neighbor, knowingly or unknowingly, is acting out of such a spirit? Perhaps they see your blessings, the peace in your home, the fruit of your labor, your spiritual strength, and it stirs something within them. They may not even understand why they're drawn to you, but their actions betray their thoughts. Look at the story of Cain and Abel. In Genesis 4:3-8, we see the tragic consequences of unchecked envy. Abel's offerings to God were accepted, while Cain's were not, and instead of seeking to better himself, Cain allowed his envy to consume him. He turned his attention not to his own shortcomings, but to his brother, ultimately taking Abel's life. What if your neighbor's lingering presence isn't just idle curiosity? What if it's the same spirit of envy that drove Cain, quietly watching, plotting, waiting for an opportunity? But here's the beauty of being one of God's chosen. You are not defenseless. God gives his chosen ones discernment, a sense of awareness that others lack. You've felt it already, that unshakable sense that something isn't right. This is his way of nudging you, preparing you to act wisely. Remember how Nehemiah faced opposition when rebuilding Jerusalem's walls. In Nehemiah 4:17 it says, "Those who carried materials did their work with one hand and held a weapon in the other." They stayed vigilant, prepared to protect what God had entrusted to them. Are you doing the same? Are you ready to guard not just your property, but your peace, your calling, and your family? Now, pause and reflect. Is this truly about your neighbor, or is it about something greater? God's chosen ones often find themselves in situations like this, not because they've done anything wrong, but because their blessings stand out. Your neighbor's actions may be a test, a challenge meant to strengthen your resolve and deepen your faith. Will you rise to the occasion? Will you lean on God for wisdom and protection? The shadows may grow bold, but remember, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Psalm 27:1. You are never alone. Stay vigilant, stay prayerful, and trust in the one who called you. There's no storm brewing here, no obvious chaos or noise, yet the clouds gather quietly around you. Do you see it? Watch closely, and you'll notice how their routine has shifted. What was once casual, even predictable, has become deliberate and tactical. Have they started appearing earlier in the day, before you've even stirred? Or perhaps they linger later, just as the sun sets, when the shadows are their strongest ally. Ask yourself, why does someone with no history of peculiar habits suddenly carry silence like a shield? A cup of coffee in hand, their eyes darting with a precision that betrays intention. A phone pressed to their ear, walking in endless circles, their footsteps tracing a pattern. But what are they marking? Look deeper. Their movement isn't random. It's calculated, deliberate. They're not just loitering, they're observing. They want something, and what they want often comes at your expense. Perhaps it's a weakness in your security, a door you forgot to lock, a shed left unattended, a blind corner where valuables are stashed. But what if it's not material possessions they're after? What if it's information? They notice when you're home, and, more importantly, when you're not. Patterns you thought were mundane and unnoticed are fueling their strategy. Have you considered what might be at stake? The Bible often warns us about those who operate under the guise of innocence, only to reveal ulterior motives. In Matthew 10:16, Jesus says, "Behold, I send you out as sheep among wolves. Therefore, be wise as serpents and innocent as doves." The wolves in your life don't always come in the form of obvious enemies. Sometimes they appear as neighbors, seemingly harmless but quietly waiting for an opportunity. Do you see the signs yet? That lingering glance, that extra step closer to your boundary, that subtle but undeniable shift in their demeanor. Consider the story of the spies sent into Jericho in Joshua 2:1-14. The men sent by Joshua were outsiders, strangers in a city they had no business in, but their movements were strategic. They studied the city, gathering information crucial to their mission. Rahab, the woman who sheltered them, saw through their purpose and made a choice to align with God's plan. What if your neighbor's seemingly random actions mirror this story, but with a darker intent? What if their aim isn't alignment with God, but disruption of the peace He has placed in your life? Their newfound habits may seem subtle, an earlier presence, a casual phone call, or idle footsteps near your property, but they are deliberate. These actions are meant to study you, to uncover vulnerabilities you didn't even realize were there. They're watching not just your home, but your habits, your rhythms, and your life. Could it be that they sense something special about you, a favor upon you that they cannot comprehend but are drawn to nonetheless? Remember the words of Psalm 7, sign to 8. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. You are under divine protection, but God also calls his chosen to be wise stewards of what he has given them. Just as Nehemiah instructed his people to keep watch while building the walls of Jerusalem, you too must stay vigilant. Their calculated steps may seem harmless now, but what if ignoring them places not just your possessions, but your purpose at risk? The question you must ask yourself is this: are you prepared to act with wisdom and strength? God has placed you here for a reason, and your light shines brighter than you know. But with great light comes great attention, both from those who admire it and those who seek to extinguish it. The patterns you observe are not mere coincidences, they are signs. Stay watchful, pray for discernment, and remember that no shadow can overcome the light of God's chosen. Chosen one. Have you noticed it yet? The way they watch just a second longer than politeness allows, or how their vehicle seems to occupy the same spot a little too often, as if it belongs there. Don't dismiss it. This isn't mere coincidence, it's deliberate. You aren't paranoid, you're aware. And there's a crucial difference. Paranoia paralyzes, but awareness protects. What seems harmless, a casual glance, a fleeting gesture, gains weight in repetition. They aren't being friendly, they're being focused. That's not curiosity, it's calculation. And unchecked calculation always leads to action. You've felt it, haven't you? Those subtle but unmistakable shifts in their demeanor. The questions that tread too close to your personal life. What time do you usually leave in the morning? Or, you were back late yesterday, weren't you? On the surface, they sound casual, almost caring. But heard more than once, you know the truth. Patterns never lie. They aren't asking out of concern, they're tracking you. Piece by piece, they're putting together a puzzle they have no business holding, mapping your movements, observing your habits. The Bible reminds us of the danger of calculated observation. In Psalm 10, 8-10, it says, "He lies in wait near the villages. From ambush he murders the innocent. His eyes watch in secret for his victims. Like a lion in cover, he lies in wait." This passage isn't just about physical harm, it's about those who wait, who calculate, who plan their steps around yours. Could this be what you're witnessing now? Someone whose intent is hidden behind a mask of friendliness, whose focus betrays something darker? Look at how their routine shifts to match yours. When you leave for work or step out for errands, they're watching. Their gaze lingers just a little too long. The door closes behind you, and you can feel it. They're calculating. Their movements are precise, methodical. Have you noticed how they coincidentally appear near your driveway when you're leaving, or how they conveniently bump into you as you return? This isn't chance, it's a rehearsed act, their timing perfectly aligned with yours. Consider the story of Delilah and Samson in Judges 16, 4-22. Delilah wasn't overtly malicious at first. Her intentions were wrapped in subtlety. She asked questions, probing Samson's strength and secrets, wearing him down over time. Her charm masked her true purpose, but each question chipped away at his defenses until he revealed what should have remained hidden. Isn't that what these lingering questions from your neighbor feel like? Casual on the surface, but relentless in their pursuit of information. And then come the inquiries about those close to you. Was that a friend who visited earlier? Your family doesn't come by often, do they? Innocuous at first, but their pattern is clear. They aren't asking out of genuine curiosity. They're assessing, gathering data, trying to understand who you surround yourself with and when. They aren't just observing you, they're encroaching on the sanctity of your life. But here's the thing, as one of God's chosen, you are not unprotected. The Lord has equipped you with discernment. Proverbs 22:3 tells us, "The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty." You've been given the wisdom to recognize these signs for what they are, not to ignore them, but to act wisely. This awareness is your shield, a gift from God to protect not just your possessions, but your peace and your purpose. So, what will you do? Will you confront these patterns or quietly adjust your own? Will you pray for clarity and strength, asking God to guide your steps? Remember, the shadows may try to encroach, but they cannot overcome the light. You are chosen, set apart, and called to vigilance. Let your awareness be your armor, and trust that no calculated plan can succeed against the one who watches over you. Don't be deceived, chosen one. They are mapping your life with a precision you might not yet realize. It's not just about the words you say, it's also about the silence you leave unguarded. They observe the rhythms you overlook, the flicker of lights turning on and off, curtains drawn at predictable hours, the subtle dance of your daily comings and goings. Each movement, each choice reveals something to them, and they are piecing it together like a puzzle. They watch not to admire, but to uncover where your vulnerabilities lie. Where does predictability leave you exposed? When do you forget to notice the shadows creeping closer? Think of their strategy. They test your absence with small, subtle movements, checking for that moment of certainty, the unlocked door, the garage left open, the car missing from the driveway. This is not mere observation, it is preparation. What you dismiss as inconsequential patterns in your daily life has become their foundation for action. Do you understand the weight of this? This is not curiosity, it's calculated intrusion. They're not just watching, they're planning. The Bible offers profound insight into such calculated behavior. In Proverbs 6:6-8, we are told, "Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest." The wisdom here is clear. Preparation and observation are tools of both diligence and intent. But what happens when those tools are wielded by someone whose intentions are not honorable? Could this neighbor be preparing, not for good, but for harm? Could their careful mapping of your life be a silent warning, a call for you to act with vigilance and wisdom? Consider the story of King David and Saul in 1 Samuel 18:9. After David's victories, Saul began to watch him closely, not with admiration, but with envy and suspicion. That watchful eye marked the beginning of Saul's plotting, his calculated attempts to undermine David, to strike when he thought David was vulnerable. What if your neighbor's watchfulness mirrors this same spirit? Not overt hostility, but a quiet, dangerous calculation. You must understand this. Observation is never passive. It is groundwork for action. By knowing your schedule, your patterns, they gain the ability to move unseen, unchallenged. This is not coincidence. It is deliberate. And you, chosen one, must respond with the awareness and discernment that God has given you. Ephesians 5:15-16 advises us, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil." This is your charge, to live with intention, to guard your life as the sacred gift it is. Take a moment to reflect. Your life has become their study, but awareness is your shield. Do not let fear take root. Let it transform into wisdom. When you affirm your vigilance, you step into the role God has prepared for you. You're not meant to be a passive observer of your own life. You're meant to take charge, to stand firm, and to trust in the protection of the Almighty. So, stay sharp, chosen one. Look for the patterns, not only in their movements, but in your own. Strengthen the places where predictability has made you vulnerable. Ask yourself, what can I do today to secure not just my home, but the peace and purpose God has given me? You are chosen. called to rise above complacency. Remember, awareness is your shield, and wielding it with precision is your duty. Trust that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Isaiah 54:17. With God by your side, you are never truly alone. They know more than you realize, chosen one. They've studied your movements, where you go, when you're alone, and the quiet moments when your house falls still. They've paid attention to every detail you've let slip. When the lights are off, when you rest, and even when you mentioned in passing how your security cameras don't always work. What felt harmless to share at the time has now become a weapon in their arsenal. Each detail they collect sharpens the edge they hold against you, and their motives are anything but benign. This is deliberate. Their goal is exploitation of your habits, your vulnerabilities, your trust. They observe your routines, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Maybe they seek physical entry to what you value most: your home, your possessions, or your peace. But what if their aims go deeper? What if they're leveraging emotional manipulation, taking what you've shared about your personal struggles to gain control? A kind offer of help may seem genuine, but could it be a tool for influence, a way to tighten their grip? Perhaps they're after something even darker: secrets they can use to blackmail you, information they can sell, or access to something they know you treasure deeply. The Bible speaks of such deceitful tactics in Proverbs 26:24-26. Enemies disguise themselves with their lips, but in their hearts they harbor deceit. Though their speech is charming, do not believe them, for 7 abominations fill their hearts. Their malice may be concealed by deception, but their wickedness will be exposed in the assembly. This passage warns us to look beyond kind words and outward friendliness, to discern the true intent of those who seek to enter our lives under the guise of goodwill. Could this neighbor be such a person, one whose charm hides a deeper agenda? Think of Delilah and Samson once more, a vivid reminder of how the enemy works through familiarity. In Judges 16:15-17, Delilah feigned care and affection, asking Samson to reveal the secret of his strength. Time and again, her questions seemed innocent, even loving, but each was a test, probing his boundaries until he finally gave away what should have been guarded. Are the seemingly harmless questions you've been asked not so different? The offhand compliments, the friendly remarks, they're not neutral. They're tests designed to gauge how much you'll reveal, how easily you'll open your life for them to pry into. And here's the danger: it's not in what you've locked away, but in what you've let slip. A casual comment about financial struggles, an innocent mention of a vulnerability, becomes ammunition for those who seek to exploit you. They come as allies, as friends, but their words carry weight and intent. Pay attention to their methods. They aren't neutral observers. They're tacticians, crafting a narrative to gain access, to exploit trust, and to take what they believe they can. As God's chosen, you must wield discernment like a sword. Ephesians 6:11 reminds us, "Put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." Your awareness is part of that armor, a shield to protect not just your home, but your heart and mind. Are you guarding your words, your habits, and your peace as God has called you to do? Look closely at their actions. Are they asking innocuous questions to seem engaged, or are they subtly testing boundaries? Are their compliments genuine, or do they feel like a prelude to something more? Their words may appear kind, but kindness without sincerity is a trap. Remember the serpent in the Garden of Eden, who approached Eve not with open hostility, but with seemingly harmless questions, planting seeds of doubt and gaining her trust. What starts as a whisper can grow into chaos if left unchecked. Chosen one, stay vigilant. Your light attracts attention, both good and bad, and your role is not to be naive, but wise. God has given you the tools to discern, to protect, and to act. Reflect on what you've shared, and guard what remains. Be watchful, for nothing is neutral when intent is hidden. Stand firm in faith and wisdom, trusting that God's protection surrounds you, even in the shadows of uncertainty. When they know your weakness, chosen one, they hold your future hostage. They're not simply observing you out of idle curiosity. They're studying you for a reason, and that reason serves them, not you. The question isn't if they'll use what they know, it's when. This is your wake-up call. Protect what is yours, your peace, your strength, your very essence. Knowledge is a currency in this world, and when you allow them access to it, you're handing them the power to manipulate your life. Have you noticed how easily small details about your life can slip out in casual conversations? What if the things you've shared, even innocently, are now tools in someone else's hands? Remember this: not everyone who sits close to the fire seeks its warmth. Some come only to extinguish its flame. Your energy, your focus, your spirit, it's all currency, and they are drawn to it like shadows to light. They linger near you, not because they admire your glow, but because they see something they can siphon. What you carry is not abstract. It's a force, a pulse of life and purpose that shapes how you live, how you create, and how you move through this world. But to them, it's something they cannot replicate, something they crave but can never truly possess. Do you ever feel exhausted or uneasy after spending time with certain people? Could it be that they're draining your energy, intentionally or otherwise, for their own gain? Your light is powerful, but it must be guarded, for those who linger in shadows often seek to consume what they cannot create. The Bible warns us about those who seek to exploit others' strength. In Proverbs 29:6, it says, "Evildoers are snared by their own sin, but the righteous shout for joy and are glad." Your light, your righteousness, is a threat to those who dwell in shadows. They can't create what you have, so they seek to take it, to weaken you enough so their influence grows while your strength falters. Consider the story of Samson and Delilah once more. Judges 16:4-21. Samson's strength was a divine gift, a spiritual and physical force that set him apart. Delilah, motivated by greed and manipulation, worked tirelessly to find his weakness. It wasn't through brute force, but through subtle, persistent questioning that she broke him down, using his trust to betray him. What if your energy, your glow, is the Samson strength they seek to exploit? What if their proximity is not innocent but calculated, meant to drain you of the very essence that makes you chosen? When they intrude on your life, they do so with intent. They test your boundaries through toxic conversations, subtle negativity that chips away at your clarity and peace. You've felt it, haven't you? Those moments when their words leave you doubting yourself, their presence leaves you feeling drained. This isn't accidental, it's intentional. They take without giving, leaving you tired, distracted, and uncertain. Why? Because when your energy weakens, their power grows. In John 10:10, Jesus tells us, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." This thief isn't always obvious. Sometimes they come disguised as a friend, a neighbor, or a confidant, appearing helpful but slowly consuming your focus, twisting it for their gain. They don't need to break down your door to enter your life. Proximity is enough. If you feel drained after they leave, if their presence unsettles your peace, recognize it for what it is. They're feeding on your energy for their own purposes. Your spiritual energy is sacred, chosen one. It's the light God has placed within you, and it must be guarded like a treasure. Protect your spirit as fiercely as you protect your home. In Proverbs 4:23, we're instructed, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." This isn't just about guarding your emotions. It's about protecting the core of who you are, your energy, your purpose, your calling. Pay attention to the signs. Do they insert negativity into your life when you least expect it? Do their words sow seeds of doubt or confusion? Do you feel a heaviness in your spirit after spending time with them? These are not random occurrences. They're tactics, deliberate attempts to destabilize your peace and weaken your light. Chosen one, this is your moment to stand firm. God has not called you to live drained and defeated. He has called you to live with clarity and strength. When you feel their pull on your energy, remember the words of Isaiah 40:31. "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Stay vigilant. Protect your energy like the precious gift it is. Guard your boundaries and let no one feed off the light God has placed within you. You are chosen, and your light is meant to shine, not to be dimmed by those who cannot create their own. Trust that God's protection surrounds you, and no shadow can extinguish what He has ignited in you. You don't owe anyone access to your fire, chosen one. Guard it relentlessly, for what burns within you is sacred, a gift that deserves your utmost protection. The universe, and for those with faith, God Himself, speaks not just through words, but through actions and patterns. When the signs reveal themselves, they are no accident. This is divine intervention, pulling hidden intentions into the light because you are meant to see them. Have you noticed how the whispers in the shadows are starting to falter? The movements that once seemed so silent are now louder, more evident. They've been moving quietly, taking what isn't theirs, but the balance is shifting. The forces that guide you are aligning to protect you, and their actions can no longer stay invisible. Think about the moments that felt off. The door left ajar when you swore you closed it. The unfamiliar car parked just a little too long on the street. The conversations that don't add up, or the behaviors that shift overnight. These are not coincidences. These are threads unraveling, signs sent to awaken you. For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. Luke 8:17. What if these disturbances are not just warnings, but divine revelations, showing you their overreach so you can take action? When you sense these signs, do you dismiss them, or do you trust that you're being shown the truth for a reason? This is how you know you're being protected. The very actions they thought were invisible are becoming their downfall. Their secrets, once tightly held, crack under the pressure of their own schemes. But why does this happen? Why does the universe, or more rightly, why does God intervene? Because when energies clash, when your light confronts their dark intent, balance demands correction. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Galatians 6:7. Those who move with dark intent cannot thrive when they encroach upon what is protected by divine light. Their manipulation, their plans to undermine you, cannot stand against the power that guards you. Think of the story of Haman in the book of Esther. Haman plotted against Mordecai and the Jewish people, building gallows to destroy them. But his own schemes backfired, and he was hanged on the very gallows he built. Esther 7:10. Could this be what's happening now? The signs of their unraveling, the exposure of their plans. These are not random. They are divine justice in motion. Do you see how the scales are tipping in your favor? How? What was done in darkness is being brought into the light. When coincidences begin to stack, when something unsettles you deep in your spirit, do not dismiss it. This is God speaking to you, urging you to see, to act, to guard yourself fiercely. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. 1 Peter 5:8. You've been given discernment for a reason. Their exposure is not just chance. It's a shield, a way to show you that what is done in secret cannot survive in the light. So, pay attention, chosen one. Every slip-up, every disturbance, every shift in behavior is a message meant for you. The truth is no longer theirs to hide. It's yours to reclaim. Trust what you feel, for God's protection is revealing their intentions piece by piece. Stand firm and know this: you are not alone. The light is on your side, and no darkness can prevail against it. Protect what's sacred, chosen one. You are not just someone who stands apart. You are a revolution in motion, a wildfire that consumes the limits others have imposed. While they fumble in the shadows of mediocrity, lost in their schemes, you rise above, blazing trails that leave a mark for generations. Have you felt it? That unshakable sense that you were born for more, that every challenge, every moment of chaos is refining you, not breaking you. You are not confined by the chaos they hope to create. You transform it. You take setbacks and shape them into stepping stones. You turn ruins into empires. Have you noticed how the very things that were meant to destroy you have become the fuel for your rise? They'll never understand your power because it isn't theirs to comprehend. Your glow doesn't fade, it blinds. Your resilience isn't just strength, it's the fulfillment of a divine prophecy. You don't chase approval or applause because you don't need it. You are destiny's favorite, chosen one, and the throne was always meant to be yours. Think about the story of Lot's wife, a warning etched deeply into the fabric of time, Genesis 19:15-26. She turned her gaze back toward what God had commanded her to leave, blinded by attachment and denial, and in doing so she became a pillar of salt, frozen, immovable, and lost. What are you still holding on to that could anchor you in the past? What truths are you resisting, even as the universe reveals them to you? Her story is a cautionary tale. When the truth reveals itself, ignoring it leads only to ruin. You will not make that mistake. You have been given signs clear as day, and you face them head-on. While others may hesitate, second-guess, or deny the truth staring them in the face, you rise with unwavering certainty. Your strength is not just in your steps, it's in your sight. They want you to dismiss the patterns, to believe that the signs are random, that your instincts are paranoia. But have you ever felt that deep, gut-level certainty, the kind that refuses to let you rest until you act? Distraction is the oldest weapon of deceit, and you won't fall prey to it. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Proverbs 22:3. Your awareness is not weakness, it's wisdom. Those who try to move unnoticed, who seek to encroach on your peace, underestimate your sight. But you see them, chosen one. How could you not? You notice the shifts, the patterns, the details others miss. Their schemes fall before they even begin, and they will come to realize they never had a chance against the light that guides you. You are not blind, you are not weak, you are chosen by the Creator Himself, and with that comes clarity, strength, and purpose. Can you feel it? The way every challenge has shaped you, refined you, and made you unshakable. Your resilience is not just about enduring, it's about transforming. Every attack, every plot, every attempt to bring you down becomes fuel for your rise. No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. Isaiah 54:17. This is your inheritance, chosen one. What if the very things they thought would break you are the proof of your strength? Their efforts crumble because they are rooted in shadows, and shadows cannot stand before the truth. Their schemes rely on your hesitation, but hesitation has no place in your story. The truth bows to you because you stand in alignment with it. Have you noticed how every attempt to shake you only strengthens your resolve? How every setback they try to inflict becomes a lesson that elevates you? This is the power they will never understand. While they stumble in the dark, you walk with the light, and the path you create burns with purpose. So stand tall, chosen one. What if everything you've faced so far has been preparing you for this moment? Protect what is sacred. Do not flinch. Do not doubt. The throne was always yours, and nothing can take it from you. The truth is on your side, and it exposes everything that does not belong in your story. Let their whispers fade into silence, and their plans dissolve into nothingness. Your protection begins with you, chosen one. Your spiritual energy is your first line of defense, a fortress that must be unshakable. Those who move with ill intent sense vulnerabilities, but they cannot penetrate what is fortified. Do you feel the strength of your own spirit, the divine light within you that sets you apart? Meditation is your tool to sharpen focus, strengthen your mind, and clear the stagnant energy they try to latch onto. Close your eyes, draw a deep breath, silence the noise they create, and pull inward. This is where you reclaim control. With each meditation, you reinforce your field, building a shield that cannot be breached. But meditation alone isn't enough. Pair it with spiritual cleansing. Burn sage, Palo Santo, or incense, and let the smoke rise to every corner of your space, carrying away what doesn't belong. Salt your thresholds and windowsills, for salt purifies and protects. Sound, too, is a weapon of peace. Bells, chants, or frequency vibrations can reset the energy in your home, displacing the weight left behind by others. Remember how Joshua marched around Jericho with the sound of trumpets, Joshua 6:20. The vibrations of those instruments brought down mighty walls. What vibrations are you sending into your space? Are you using sound to dismantle the unseen walls of negativity and intrusion? Physical vigilance is just as vital as spiritual cleansing. Lock every door, secure every window. Deadbolts, smart locks, and visible cameras send a clear message to those who seek to intrude. If cameras are not yet an option, motion-activated lights serve as a powerful deterrent. Darkness is their ally. Strip it away. Take inventory. Who has keys? Who knows your schedule? Reclaim control of access to your life. Break your patterns. Leave lights on when you're out. Move unpredictably and confuse their attempts at observation. Think of how Jesus evaded those who sought to harm him before his appointed time, John 7:30. He moved with divine timing, appearing and disappearing according to his purpose. How can you adapt your movements so they align with purpose and protection? Those who watch you depend on your predictability, but unpredictability is your armor. Guard the gateways of your energy, for what enters shapes your reality. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. Every word spoken to you, every action directed toward you, every presence lingering in your space carries intention. Discern which intentions build and which dismantle. If you fail to guard these gateways, chaos walks freely into your mind, your spirit, and your life. Reflect on Nehemiah's vigilance when rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, Nehemiah 4:16-18. His people worked with one hand building and the other holding a weapon. They understood that vigilance wasn't optional, it was necessary. How are you balancing the construction of your life's purpose with the protection of what is sacred? Are you guarding your physical and spiritual boundaries with the same care and intention? Your power lies not just in your defenses, but in your awareness. Fortify your spirit, lock down your home, and protect the gateways of your energy. What approaches you carries intention, some to build, others to dismantle. Let only what aligns with your purpose enter and block out the rest. You are fortified, chosen one, and those who seek to intrude will find no way in. Energy, like water, flows where it is allowed. It seeps into the spaces left unguarded, the cracks you may not have noticed. Do not let their energy infiltrate your life through these unseen gaps. Their methods are subtle but deliberate, words spoken lightly, almost in jest, yet they linger, leaving a weight on your heart. Have you ever found yourself replaying a conversation that seemed harmless at the time, only to realize later how it shifted your focus or planted doubt? This is how they operate, chosen one. Their presence carries an unease you can't quite name, but you feel it, don't you? The way their energy shifts the room, how you unknowingly carry their heaviness long after they've gone. Consider the story of the serpent in the Garden of Eden, Genesis 3:1-6. The serpent didn't strike openly, it worked subtly, planting a seed of doubt in Eve's mind. Its words were crafted to distract and deceive, leading her to question the truth she already knew. Are there people in your life who use their words in the same way, leaving behind traces of judgment, envy, or negativity? Their intentions may not always be obvious, but the stain they leave on your spirit is unmistakable. They test your boundaries, your patience, your will to stay unshaken. Their probing questions and subtle challenges are designed to see where you'll bend, where you'll give in. Have you noticed how they seem to know exactly where to push? How their words or actions target the parts of you that are most vulnerable? This is not coincidence, it's calculation. But remember this, their intentions fail when they meet resistance. Like Nehemiah, rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, Nehemiah 4:7-9. You must stand firm, refusing to let your focus waver. When the opposition came, Nehemiah and his people prayed and set guards, remaining vigilant and unyielding. How can you set guards over your heart, your mind, and your energy to ensure they cannot breach your defenses? Your energy belongs to you alone. It is not a resource for others to drain or manipulate. Do not give the dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. Matthew 7:6. This verse reminds us to protect what is precious, our spirit, our energy, from those who would misuse it. Are you guarding your sacred spaces, or are you unknowingly leaving them open to those who do not deserve access? Their negativity and judgment cannot root themselves in you unless you allow it. Your power is yours to keep, and no one can take it without your permission. Reflect on how often you've allowed others' energy to weigh you down, to distract you from your purpose. What would happen if you chose from this moment to resist their intrusion, to let their words and actions fall away like water on stone? Your spiritual shield is strengthened with every act of resistance, every boundary you hold firm. Like Jesus in the wilderness, Matthew 4:1-11, you must confront those who seek to test your resolve with unwavering clarity. He refused to be swayed by the devil's temptations, standing firm in the truth of who he was. You too must stand firm in the truth of who you are, chosen, protected, and guided by a higher purpose. This is your power, to guard your energy, to reject what does not serve you, and to remain unshaken in the face of their subtle attempts to infiltrate your spirit. Their intentions crumble when they meet your strength, and their negativity finds no place to root. Protect yourself, chosen one, for your light is too precious to allow the shadows to linger. Let their words fall away. Let their energy dissolve before it reaches you. And know this, no one takes your power unless you allow it. Your energy, your focus, your spirit are yours to guard. And with every step of resistance you reaffirm your strength. You are fortified, unyielding, and untouchable. Your spiritual instincts are not a whisper, they are a roar cloaked in silence. That knot in your stomach, the sudden twinge behind your eyes, the pulse that quickens when they step too close. These feelings are not random. They are signals, ancient and unerring, rooted in your divine design. Your intuition is the most primal and sacred form of protection. It speaks when logic falters, moves when the mind hesitates, and shields you where words can't reach. Have you ever felt that unshakable sense that something is off before you could explain why? That is your intuition, chosen one, sounding an alarm before danger can manifest. When their intentions shift, you feel it first. Your energy reacts before your understanding catches up. It's the way your thoughts scatter when they arrive, the discomfort that crawls up your spine when their presence lingers too long. This unease is your soul speaking to you, a warning you cannot afford to ignore. Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 30:21. That voice, that inner knowing, is your connection to something deeper, a bridge between what is seen and what hides beneath. Are you listening to it, or are you letting doubt muffle its message? Why is your intuition heightened? Because you are chosen. Your energy, your purpose, your light make you a target for intrusion. The universe, and indeed God Himself, equipped you with this internal compass because He knew what you would face. Look to the story of Esther, who trusted her instincts when she approached King Xerxes to save her people. Esther 4:14-16. Her courage came from a deep knowing that she was positioned for that moment, even when the risks were high. How often do you trust that your intuition is positioning you, guiding you, protecting you in ways you may not yet understand? Intuition doesn't just warn, it guides. It tells you when to pull back, when to guard your energy, and when to cut ties entirely. Do you feel that pull, the nudge to walk away, even when their words seem harmless or their smiles appear genuine? They may wear masks of kindness, but their energy betrays them, and your intuition catches it every time. The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? Jeremiah 17:2-9. This is why you must rely on your spiritual instincts. They see what your eyes cannot. Consider Jesus' awareness of Judas's betrayal. Even as Judas sat at the table with him, pretending loyalty, Jesus knew his true intentions. John 13:21-27. He didn't need Judas to admit his betrayal aloud. He discerned it in his spirit. How often have you felt that same sense of knowing, even when someone's actions or words haven't explicitly revealed their intent? That inner stirring, that discomfort, it is your gift, a shield placed within you to protect what is sacred. Your intuition is not a coincidence. It is your superpower. The unease you feel, the way your energy shifts when they are near, is evidence that you are connected to something greater, something divine. They may try to disarm you with words or gestures, but your intuition cuts through their facade. Trust it. Listen to it. It does not require evidence or proof to validate itself because it operates on a higher frequency, one that sees beyond the surface. Chosen one, your intuition is your greatest ally. It warns, it guides, and it protects. It is your connection to the divine forces that guard your path. When something feels off, it is. When you sense danger, act. You were given this gift, not to question it, but to wield it. Protect your energy, trust your instincts, and know that you are equipped to face anything that seeks to intrude on your light. Your intuition is not just protection, it is your compass, pointing you to truth every time. Doubt is the only weapon they have to silence your instincts, chosen one. Do not let it win. Every time you override that voice inside you, every moment you question your inner knowing, you weaken the shield that was divinely placed to protect you. Trust that when something feels wrong, it is. Trust that when your energy resists, it is shielding you from harm. Your instincts are not mere coincidence. They are sacred whispers from a higher source, urging you to act. Have you ever felt that moment of hesitation, only to later realize your intuition was right all along? Do not let anyone or anything shake what you already know in your spirit to be true. Not all neighbors mean harm, but the universe, and for those who believe, God, reveals those who do. Some arrive in your life under the guise of kindness, offering a friendly nod or a casual wave. Their words may seem disarming, their presence soft. But watch carefully, for intentions that linger too close often carry hidden motives. Be shrewd as serpents and innocent as doves. Matthew 10:16. This teaching reminds us to balance kindness with discernment, to observe carefully while still maintaining grace. How often do you truly listen to the energy behind someone's words? Are you allowing charm to cloud your judgment, or are you seeing clearly through the facade? There are those whose harm isn't driven by anger or envy alone. It is simply their nature. Like the scorpion in the fable, they betray trust because they cannot act otherwise. The story is simple yet profound. A scorpion asks a frog for help crossing a river, promising no harm. Midway through, the scorpion stings the frog, dooming them both. When the frog asks why, the scorpion replies, "It is in my nature." This is a truth you must carry, chosen one. There are people whose nature is to extract, to manipulate, to harm, not out of personal malice, but because it is simply who they are. Consider Judas Iscariot, who walked alongside Jesus, shared meals with him, and still betrayed him. Matthew 26:14 to 1:16. Judas's betrayal was not a spur-of-the-moment act, but a reflection of his inner character, a nature that prioritized greed and self-interest over loyalty. Are there people in your life who, no matter how much trust you offer, seem to act in ways that harm? Could their actions be less about you and more about who they have always been? You can extend trust, you can offer peace, but you cannot change the core of who someone is. This doesn't mean you should live in fear. It means you should live with wisdom. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Proverbs 22:3. Your ability to discern the nature of others is not about judgment, it's about protection. Are you discerning wisely, or are you hoping that kindness will transform what is unchangeable? The lesson is clear. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. Some move through the world, taking, extracting, manipulating, not because of what you've done, but because it's who they've always been. This doesn't mean you should harden your heart. It means you should fortify your boundaries. Reflect on this. Where in your life are you extending trust to those who have shown they cannot honor it? How can you adjust, not with anger, but with clarity and resolve? Your instincts are your guide. They are sacred, ancient, and true. Trust them, move with them, and let no one shake the knowing you carry within you. Some will walk alongside you with genuine intentions. Others will come to take. Your wisdom lies in knowing the difference. Protect your energy, guard your peace, and remain steadfast in your calling. You are chosen, and no scorpion can cross the river you guard. The universe sees what you cannot yet perceive, and subtle warnings begin to emerge. Misplaced items, patterns of lingering outside your space, words spoken in tones that feel just slightly off. These signs are not accidents. They are whispers of protection. Pay attention to how they make you feel in your gut, the discomfort that lingers after an encounter, the unease that clings to your space long after they've left. Have you ever felt that sense of imbalance, as though their presence left a shadow where there should be light? That is your intuition speaking, urging you to act. Their harm doesn't always stem from malice. Sometimes they take because it is in their nature, like the scorpion in the fable. The universe reveals them not to punish, but to protect. When patterns begin to unravel and hidden intentions crack under the weight of truth, recognize it as a divine act of grace. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be brought to light. Mark 4:22. These revelations are not coincidences. They are spiritual interventions meant to shield you from what lies beneath their smiles and polite gestures. Do not mistake proximity for trustworthiness. A smile or nod does not guarantee purity of intent. Watch their actions, not their promises. When their nature reveals itself, believe it the first time. Have you ever ignored a red flag, hoping it was just a misunderstanding, only to find out later that your instincts were right? Do not carry the scorpion across the river, chosen one. You cannot save them from their nature, but you can protect yourself from the sting. Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? 2 Corinthians 6:14. This is not a call for judgment, but for discernment. Your light cannot coexist with shadows that seek to harm. Your light is not passive, it is a force. As a chosen one, your very existence disrupts the darkness. The energy you carry is pure, unwavering, and undeniable. Those moving in shadows feel its weight. They may not know why they're drawn to you, why they linger too close, or why their intentions falter in your presence. But make no mistake, they feel you. Your light exposes what they wish to keep hidden. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. This is an ancient spiritual truth. Where light resides, darkness cannot thrive. When you enter a space, you shift the balance. You disrupt stagnation, unravel deception, and strip away the illusions they have built for themselves. Their discomfort is not your fault. It is a consequence of your nature. Your presence forces their darkness to reveal itself. Have you noticed how their energy shifts around you? How their smiles seem strained, or their words carry a tension they cannot hide? This is the power of your light, chosen one. Do not be surprised when their actions turn calculating, when they resist, or when they seek to pull you down. They do this not because you are weak, but because your strength threatens what they are. Your energy is magnetic, but magnets don't just attract, they also repel. As a chosen one, your light vibrates at a frequency that stands apart, cutting through the fog where others blend in. Neighbors, colleagues, even strangers are drawn to your energy, but not all who come close do so with pure intent. Some are drawn not by admiration, but by the discomfort your presence ignites within them. Your light exposes their shadows, their envy, their secrets. Everything they thought was safe in the dark becomes vulnerable under the radiance you carry. Consider how Jesus unsettled those who lived in darkness. His mere presence exposed the hidden intentions of hearts. Luke 8:17. Pharisees and teachers of the law plotted against him not because he attacked them, but because his light revealed their hypocrisy. Is this not what you experience? Those who harbor shadows cannot stand before your light, not because of what you say, but because of what you are. Their movements will betray their truth. Watch closely. Those with unclear intentions will test you, subtly or directly. Their questions feel invasive. Their presence drains your energy, and their actions disrupt your peace. They seek to siphon your energy because they cannot create it for themselves. Their shadows thrive only where you allow access. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. John 10:10. You owe them nothing. Their shadows are not your burden to carry, nor your problem to solve. Your light is a truth they cannot deny. Do not dim it to make them comfortable. Protect it. When you protect your light, you honor your purpose, your calling, and the divine source that gave it to you. Your presence will always disturb the darkness, and that is exactly why you are here. Guard your energy fiercely, chosen one. Let your light shine without fear, for it is the force that reveals truth, dismantles deception, and brings shadows to their knees. The universe will never leave you defenseless, chosen one. Every challenge you face, every disruption that tests your peace, has been placed before you for a reason, to sharpen your awareness, to forge your resilience. The universe, and for those who believe God Himself, is not punishing you. He is equipping you. Strength is born in resistance, and your spirit was designed to endure. Think about the battles you've already overcome. Have they not prepared you for what lies ahead? Those who move against you miscalculate your power. They see your light and assume it comes without a shield. They are wrong. No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. Isaiah 54:17. This promise reminds us that your protection is divine, impenetrable to those who seek to harm you. Every obstacle they place before you reveals not your weakness, but their limits. Every moment of discomfort, every attempt to drain your energy or unsettle your purpose becomes fuel for your evolution. You were not made to falter, you were made to overcome. Have you noticed how the very challenges they create only sharpen your clarity, making you stronger with each step? This is not by accident, it is by design. The universe moves in unseen ways, placing you exactly where you need to be and revealing who and what cannot stay. Those disruptions, the ones that rattle your spirit and challenge your calm, are not punishments. They are lessons. They force you to stand taller, to reclaim your boundaries, and to walk with unshakable purpose. Consider Job, who endured immense trials not as punishment, but as a testament to his unwavering faith. Job 1:8-12. Every loss, every test, was a stage for his strength to shine, and his ultimate restoration was greater than what had been taken. Could it be that your trials are refining you for something far greater? Every step you take strengthens the force field around you, making it impenetrable to their intentions. Have you felt how, even in the face of their attempts to disrupt you, your resolve grows? This is divine resilience at work. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28. Your challenges are not random, they are purposeful, shaping you into the force you were meant to become. Your challenges are temporary, but your power is eternal. When you trust in the divine protection surrounding you, you move differently. You see through their shadows, you endure their disruptions, and you rise unbroken. Think of David standing before Goliath, 1 Samuel 17:45-47. The odds seemed insurmountable, yet David trusted in the protection and purpose God had placed over him. His victory wasn't in his weapon, but in his unwavering faith. What giants in your life are you standing before right now, and how will your faith carry you through? Know this: the universe and God Himself has placed a shield around you, one that grows stronger with every act of trust, every step of resilience. The trials you face are temporary, but your purpose is eternal. You're not merely enduring, you're evolving. Every moment of discomfort strengthens your boundaries, sharpens your instincts, and prepares you for the greater calling that lies ahead. Your light is not just a beacon, it is a shield, and no shadow can dim it. Walk forward with confidence, chosen one. You are divinely equipped to overcome. Their efforts to unsettle you will only strengthen your resolve, and their attempts to dim your light will fail before they even begin. Trust in the process, for every disruption is shaping you into the force you are always meant to be. Stand tall, for you are protected, you are chosen, and you will rise unbroken. You are not alone, and you are not weak. The universe stands beside you, shielding you with a strength greater than anything that moves against you. Move with that truth, chosen one. You were shown this reality because you're destined to rise above it. The challenges you face are not coincidences. They are confirmations of your significance. Your light disrupts the darkness. Your energy shakes the very foundations of what others thought was unmovable. Those who seek to undermine you reveal themselves not because of your weakness, but because of your extraordinary strength. The wolf may circle, lingering at the edges of your peace. But remember this: the shepherd's protection is unwavering. Forces greater than you can see stand beside you, watching, guiding, and guarding you. Trust that protection, and know that no weapon formed against you will prosper. When your instincts sharpen, when the patterns reveal themselves, it is not paranoia, it is clarity. The universe equips you with awareness because you are meant to overcome, to outlast, and to walk untouchable through what was meant to break you. Do not shrink yourself for anyone. Let no one siphon your power or dim your light. Your resilience is the answer to their intrusion, and your vigilance ensures their failure. Stand tall, protect your energy, and trust the forces that guide you. To everyone listening to this, thank you for walking this journey with me. Your presence here is no accident, and I am honored to share this truth with you. If this message resonated with you, please like and share it so others may find the strength and clarity they need. Your voice is power, and your story may be the light someone else is searching for. May you walk forward with confidence, protected by divine grace. May your light never falter, and may your energy remain pure and unshakable. You are chosen, you are cherished, and you are unstoppable. Stay vigilant, stay protected, and may peace and blessings follow you in all that you do. Thank you, and may you always rise above.